Hi everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel for Mommy Milestones. Today's project is duck butchering. I have put it off far too long. I have had a hawk flying around and hanging out in my barn. Last week I had about 4 females, well 2 weeks ago I had 4 females left, and all of the rest of my ducks are males. So springtime is here now, and every time I fill their water, they want to mate on the females, and my ratio is way off, so the females were getting beaten. So I took them out and was letting them free range, and a hawk got 2 of my female ducks, and I sold 2 of the female ducks. So long story short now, I've got all drakes, I've got Pekings, khaki Campbells, and Rowan ducks, and they're all males. So there's about 25 of them, and if I get 4 or 5 done a day, that's just what I've got to do. So this is how I've got it set up. Hopefully it'll go well. It's later in the day because it took me a while to get everything out, get it cleaned and sanitized. So husband's home and he can help out with a little bit of this, and we'll just have some frozen pizzas for dinner or something. It's hard to get all these projects done. Fortunately, my big boys are big enough that they watch the little sister and the little brother, and they all just kind of play, and I take breaks and stuff. But it just works better to do these kind of projects outside of the house so that like feathers don't end up everywhere. And the next couple of days are going to be really warm in the high 50s and 60s. Today got up to about 45 and it's starting to cool down, so I don't know how much we're going to get done. But if I can at least get them defeathered and waxed, then it'll go well. So let me show you what's kind of going on with our setup. So these are my homemade kill cones, and this is roofing flashing, and I've just shaped it like this. These are roughly about 20 bucks a piece, maybe 30, and I made these. So if you want to look up in previous videos in the past history for Mommy Milestones, you can find how to make kill cones. It's real simple. And I know YouTube is getting a little bit funny about, you know, butchering and guns and meat and, you know, all this stuff. So I don't know how this will go with their new changes. But I just want to share it with you because it's very helpful starting out to figure these things out. So my husband used to just tie a string around the duck or chicken's foot and hang it from this pine tree. But then his arms were up too high. This way here, you're just bent over for a split second. I just have these nailed onto a 2x4 and I move it in the yard wherever I want to. I can put it between sawhorses, I can put it between trees, I can rest it on 2 barrels. We happen to have this, and I bought it for this purpose, but this is the smaller masonry tub, and it's about $5. They have a longer one, and I think it was maybe $25. And I thought, well, I could buy 2 of these versus buying 1. So you can put this underneath your kill cone and it will collect your blood for you instead of having it all over the ground. You can let it go on the ground. We have problems with possums and raccoons. I don't want to encourage them. So if you do dump it on the ground, just spray it out when you're done. This is my maple syrup arch. You've seen our maple syruping. We do the same thing on a smaller scale with these 55-gallon drums that are cut in half. And I use the bottom for 2 55-gallon drums just to make sure the lung wasn't leaking. We had used these previously to heat the orchard when we were getting a spring frost last year. So they were safe. Full of water. We've got a nice fire going. Now we're doing ducks. I've got a few roosters to do too. So this is just water with a little bit of Dawn dish soap. The dish soap helps get down to the skin, get past that oil, so that it will loosen those feathers. This year, I'm going to do something different that I haven't done before, and this one is hot water, and I'm going to add wax to it. Now, duck wax is too expensive for me. 10 pounds is about $30, so I'm going to use beeswax, and I've heard of people using paraffin and candle wax, and I've got these old candles that are junk, so I'm going to throw them in. Why not? We'll give it a try. So this helps with those pin feathers, because I can sit there for an hour pulling pin feathers out, and the chicken plucker is set up over here. So I am going to let the water discharge into this side of the yard just so that this side doesn't get all muddy. And I'm running power from the shop, and a garden hose from here. We bought the model, this is from CC Only out of Ohio. We bought the model that you can have water discharged out of it, but it's this tiny little fitting on here, and I've never figured out like how am I supposed to attach the hose to it. So I've got my water supply here. You can use a hand sprayer or whatever. Got this bleached out, ready to go. So we will just power it up. The feathers will discharge here. So I'm gonna kill them and bleed them out. Go over there and dunk them. Ducks are 1 minute for a dunk. Pluck it here. Pull out at the table any feathers that I can that are large, and then they will go into this barrel for the paraffin dip, and then they'll go into a bucket of cold water. So I will probably just, and they say you can dip them, 2 or 3 times with the paraffin wax. Well, of course, I'm using beeswax. I really just didn't want to run to the store. I didn't want to buy a specialty product. I have the beeswax. These are 1/2 ounce bars, and so I laid out a pound. Most of them online say a pound of wax will do about 4 ducks, so we're just going to give it a try. The ducks are different sizes, and this is a stainless steel table. They had these available through Walmart. I actually found mine for sale on Craigslist for like, I don't know, $45 or $50. It's not as heavy grade as a restaurant version, but this is just like the modern loft, urban kitchen style. But the girl was moving out of state and didn't want to mess with it. So I've got my knives and my sharpener. I've got my tubs here, and we will let the ducks cool in ice overnight and then process them tomorrow, any that we get done today. And the cooler will probably hold 8 to 10 ducks. So my long stem thermometer broke in the kitchen drawer. The kids tend to be a little rough, and they crammed it in. So I'm using my candy thermometer, and this does have a clip that I have off of it right now, but you can put this right in the pot to see how your temperature is going. If you have a turkey fryer and you want to use propane, you can do your scalding that way. That's a really good and efficient way to go. Some people are taking fiberglass wash tubs, like laundry tubs, and adding a heating element to it just from like a hot water heater. He's good at that stuff. I'm not so much. So just to keep it, using wood, using what I've already got going here, we're wood firing it, and we should be about up to temperature on our scald right now. So these are all my ducks. We've got the white ones are the Pekings. This one here is a khaki, and they're called khakis because they look like your color of your khaki pants. They're layers of browns. Sometimes they have a greenish head, sometimes it's kind of brown. A lot of ducks do that iridescent thing. The green ones with the white bands on the neck, that's the Rowans, and they're closely related to the mallards. The Pekings grow out the fastest. They're done in 8 to 12 weeks with the highest weight, finish weight for the freezer. Now, if you want a smaller duck, the khakis are good. The Rowans are good for everything. They're good for broodiness. They're good for predators because they're not white. They don't stand out so well. They just don't finish as heavy as the white ones. Now, I'm finding the Rowans are the ones that are being more aggressive and trying to feminize the other males. So I think I'm going to start with butchering them first because I've never had a problem with the white ones trying to do that to the others. I definitely have more Rowans and khakis than the others. So this is just how we're starting out. About good. They're getting wrapped up in each other, so if their backs aren't, you can Probably flip them. That breast seems to